Hello and welcome, it's Chris from Christopher Holt Training, and welcome to this tutorial where we're going to talk about lower back pain, and we're going to talk about rehabilitation of lower back pain, because many people I speak to, they are told to build core strength and stability, or they're told to do certain exercises to build core strength and stability, because if you've got a stronger core, your back isn't going to be as bad. But when you work with enough people, you start to see that some very strong people have got bad backs. So they don't need to make their back stronger because it's very strong already. Now, there are some people that do need to build core strength, but that's in a very specific case of lower back pain. So what we need to get away from is just telling people to build core strength and stability, because where in some specific cases that's necessary, it's generally one part to the puzzle to overcome lower back pain. And throughout this tutorial, I'm going to be referring to my How to Overcome Lower Back Pain ebook, which you can see here. So obviously there are various bits. I talk a little bit about anatomy. I talk a little bit about certain structures and tissues of the spine and the core and things like that. And then I start to go into sort of function and how to move better, how to relieve stresses of the spine, so on and so forth. I give you a 6-step rehabilitation process that you can start using, talk about, again, other causes of lower back pain, and then we talk about stretches and exercises that you can start doing, and then at the end, how to put it all together in a workout. So the link for this will be down below, but obviously I'm going to talk a bit more about it now, so it might give you a little bit of understanding that if you do choose to download it, you kind of have an understanding of what's going to be in there and how it's going to be useful for you. So not building core strength and stability, because there's a little bit more to it, and again, as I mentioned, the ebook covers the extra bits that's missing. So people are told to build core strength and stability, and we need to get away from that, because I guess sort of the first step to overcoming lower back pain is understanding, or at least having a better understanding of your lower back pain. So thinking about things like, what makes it worse? What postures, positions and loads make your back pain worse? What posture, positions and loads make your back pain feel better? What have you been doing in the lead up to an episode of back pain? And what have you been doing in the lead up and time during a period of sort of good back health, where it's been more pain free? Because that's going to give you clues as to your lower back pain. It's going to give you clues as to what makes it worse, and it's going to give you clues as to what makes it better. Now, in this, I'm not diagnosing specific lower back pain. I'm just looking at the mechanical and functional elements of lower back pain, and functional mechanical elements that make it worse. So movements, postures and loads that make it worse, and movements and postures that make it better. Because if we can start doing the ones that make it better, we're going to be in a much more advantageous position. Now, again, from the experience that I've had with working with people and listening to people and researching the subject, and then obviously putting that to practice with those people, what I've been able to learn is more of the postures, the positions and loads, which have given people sort of, let's just say, pain-free episodes or pain-free time periods. And it's a case, it's a very sort of simple equation of, well, we need to start doing more of that. That is very true, but there is also other things that we need to be mindful of on the way through. So there are things like stretches to be doing. There are things like exercises to be doing. There are things like everyday activities to be doing. So if we can start putting those three together, we're going to get a much better mix, and we're going to get a much better mix of things that are spine and our lower back like, but also we're going to be able to put that into practice a little bit more. I'm going to give you an example of this. So someone that I've been working with remotely, so we've gone through the consultation, so we've gone through that period of understanding the lower back pain a little bit better. I've then sent him off with advice and recommendations. So he's gone out into the world. He's then come back to me and said, yeah, this the walking isn't quite working. Can I try putting some foam rolling and some stretching before I go out for a walk? Because that was one of the times when he was getting lower back pain. And because his lower back pain was so short, I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's put that in place. So start doing this, that, and the other before you go out, and let's see if that makes his lower back pain better. And he was able to go that much longer with regards to his lower back pain. It didn't completely cure it, but it was something that we identified, and it was like, well, maybe we should try this. So again, just like this ebook, lower back pain isn't you need to do X, Y, and Z and then your back will be better. There is a degree of experimentation and a degree of investigation to be able to narrow down the specific things that you need to be able to make your back better. So we identified that, well, we identified the stretches and the exercises. We knew what those were. But over the period of a couple of days, we identified when we needed to do them as opposed to when we shouldn't be doing them. So it was like, well, okay, well, instead of just starting with the exercises and stretches, let's get them in before we go out for a walk, and we'll see if that improves it. So we then sort of refined and honed what we were doing. And that, in a sense, is what this ebook is there to help you to do. It's my coaching process sort of that develops. So I've given you the raw materials, so I'm giving you the questions to ask to understand your lower back pain. I'm giving you the exercises and the stretches and the everyday activities to be thinking about. But then what we need to do is refine and hone that and streamline that. So you'll start doing these bits and pieces. You might find that your back pain improves, and then what will start to happen is you'll start to think, well, how about, shall I try this? And shall I put my exercises and stretches here instead of there and see if that improves it? You might find that there's an improvement there. So it's very much, when we come to talking about overcoming lower back pain, it's not just as simple as getting a stronger core. Because as I mentioned in that example, we had the raw materials, we knew the stretches, we knew the exercises, we knew the everyday activities, because we worked them out in what makes it better and what makes it worse. What it was then doing is, after a few days, it's refining that. So in that example, if someone's working with me face-to-face or remotely, I will then ask them to feed information back to me, because that's important information that I need to then sort of update the recommendations and the advice. We will then go through a follow-up session, a proper follow-up session, rather than just a quick email back and forth as feedback, to then update the recommendations and advice. Now, this ebook is designed to help you to do that for yourself. So you, in a sense, you don't need me there. Obviously, I'm available if you need me on a remote consultation. That's absolutely fine. But what I've tried to do is put that information together in this ebook, so you're then able to start to do that for yourself. So, because it is just a case of understanding your lower back pain, putting some bits and pieces into place, be it some exercises, some stretches, or some everyday movement and activities. You put that in place, you answer those questions again. What's making it better? What's making it worse? How could I improve it? Okay, let's put the stretches here. And then what we find is your low back pain is very specific to you, and it requires a very specific to you rehabilitation process. And that's what I talk about in that ebook, is developing that rehabilitation process. So it's not a set and finite, you need to make your core strength and stability better over 6 weeks and then your back pain will be better. It's a more refined and nuanced approach to it, which again I've found is more advantageous to the individual. So if you go to my website christopherholdtraining.com, what you will find is all the products and services that are on there, be them face-to-face or online, have that in mind. We always start with trying to figure out your lower back pain, and then it's just a case of learning the stretches, learning the exercises, learning the movement activities, and then refining and honing and putting it into place the best way that works for you, because everyone's journey isn't the same. There are common threads, absolutely, but they aren't. They don't mirror exactly. So I can't put a set, sort of program together. because some people will find bits advantageous and other people won't. So we have to go through that process of sort of working it out, and that's what the ebook is there to do. So hopefully you found this useful, and hopefully you found, or you've at least got a better understanding of the process of rehabilitating your core, which again you can find in the ebook, which the link will be below. You can go through and you can download it, or I will also put the link in the below about my sort of remote consultations for lower back pain and the rehabilitation of that. So if you want to take advantage of either of those, then you're absolutely welcome to. So many thanks for watching. Hopefully you've found this useful, and I will hopefully speak to you during a consultation or via the ebook. So many thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon.